All right. Hey, Chris Tonis here, founder and CEO of Preeminent Recruitment. I am so thankful and grateful that you decided to take a look at this video and this page in general. And so, what you came here to learn and better understand is how you can start a recruitment side hustle that generates enough income that you can leave your 9 to 5 job, work wherever you want, be financially independent, and ultimately start working towards something that is your own rather than working and building somebody else's dream. That's why you're here, right? And so before we move forward, I know it's important to understand that I'm not a joker. I'm not here to play games with you, and that I actually know what I'm talking about. And I think the best way to do that is kind of tell you about my journey and how I got here. So about 7.5 years ago, I was actually a substitute teacher. Yes, a substitute teacher, sitting there working on my MBA while middle school age kids were pulling all sorts of pranks on me and all sorts of that thing. And I'm sure you can relate because we've all had substitute teachers growing up. And one day I'm sitting in one of my break periods and my phone happened to ring. Talk about timing, right? And so I get a random call, and 7.5 years ago, we didn't get as many spam calls as we do today. And so I pick up this random number. On the other end of the line, there was a very raspy voiced woman who changed my life. And she called and she said, hey, my name is so-and-so, and I don't have her approval to share her name, so I'm not going to use it. And she says, would you be interested in coming to interview with our company? And I said, well, what does your company do? And she explains to me that they help nurses and healthcare practitioners find full-time positions. And so I paused and I go, well, that's interesting. You help people find jobs and people pay you? And she said, yeah, absolutely. And they pay us a lot of money. And so I took this call and I was relatively excited. And I was like, sure, I'd love to come in. Could you tell me more about how much money I could make and stuff like that? And she said, your first year altogether pay will probably come close to $80,000. Year 2, you could make as much as 6 figures. Year 3, you could make about 120 grand if you're good. And so here I am making about, I think probably at the time, $24,000 to $30,000 a year working on my MBA. And I'm thinking about $80,000. And I was beyond excited. I was like, wow, even if I'm average, I can go make $80,000. And so I go to this interview and, the rest is history. I worked at this company. I accepted their offer. The company was a $100 million staffing firm, very successful, great mentorship, great management. And I learned a lot of incredible things, but it didn't come easy for me. The first 6 months I was with this company, I was scheduling interviews, making 100 phone calls, 150 phone calls a day or more, spending 5 hours a day on the actual phone, 5 hours logged on the phone per day, talking to people, understanding the markets, understanding what makes people tick, understanding what companies are looking for. And in 6 months, hadn't closed a single deal, not one. And I'll never forget, I went on Zillow and I looked up houses for sale in Tennessee. And then I went on Career Builder and looked for jobs in Tennessee because I was like, I'm moving out of New Hampshire. It's too expensive. I'm moving to Tennessee. I'm going to start over and just have a job that pays me, $40,000, $50,000 a year with my education and be happy there, which would have been great. But my manager sat me down and convinced me that, I'm right on the cusp of greatness because of the effort I'm putting in. And so I took his word, told him I will work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 5 days a week. And I will work at least 4 to 5 hours a day, Saturday and Sunday. He told me that's too much. You're going to burn out. And I still did it anyway. And I never stopped doing it until today, 7 years later. And over that course of time, I've built in revenue over $4 million, $3.5 million to $4 million, right in that vein. And then a year and a half ago, after I became an expert, after 20,000 plus hours, as Malcolm Gladwell calls that expert level, I took my expert level knowledge and implemented it in my own enterprise and built a 6-figure business in less than a year. And that is what I'm here to share with you, is that there was things I learned along the way that could have cut my learning curve dramatically in half. I didn't need to spend 6 years honing my craft at an organization or 20,000 hours. If I would have had the right mentors and help along the way that would have showed me how to get from point A to point B in a short period of time. And so what I want to share with you here and what I want to provide with you is a training that will cover those exact tips and tricks, failures and successes that I learned along the way, so you don't have to make the same ones. And so that you, whether you have recruitment experience or not, can learn how to become a talent acquisition consultant in a very short period of time, doing it part-time while you're still employed, and then eventually doing it on your own, or even on your own if you have the capital saved to get started. Now, the incredible thing about recruitment is I was able to start my agency and build it to six figures without spending a dollar on technology, CRMs, anything like that, anything that people tell you that you need. Actually, I started with less than a $5,000 investment and almost immediately closed a $5,000 retained fee plus commission on top of it for the deals I closed with this organization, which funded my business for the rest of the year, which, mind you, is $12,000 to $18,000 with the technology I've invested in. And then from there, we built it up to six figures with anywhere from 12% to 20+% commission deals based off of the higher salary, which means our deals have ranged this year from $5,000 up to, I think our largest fee was $18,000 this year, but it's going to be significantly more next year because you got to get in the door some way. And that is the things that we're going to teach you is how do you get in the door? How do you get clients to pay you to find them people? And then how do you fulfill that? How do you find the people on the back end? Now, we've done it, and we've done it recently. And a lot of the other courses that you're going to see out there, the issue that you're going to have is they either have never really done it, they've never done it on their own and built up a successful, positive profit business, or they might have, but it's probably been the better half of a decade since they were a solopreneur trying to get started in building their enterprise, and they don't understand the complexities of the current job market. And so I need you to have a little bit of faith in me because I want to help you get to the next level of your career. And you'll see all of the information, the pricing, all of that stuff to the right here or to below. But I want to end by letting you know one thing. If you take this course and you work with us to grow and start your own recruitment agency and get clients, and you feel at any point in time that you're not getting the value out of this program that you thought you would, if you don't think that it was worth your investment at any point in this, you send us an email and we will refund you, no questions asked. And in addition to that, I'll even send you a coffee on me. That's how confident I am that we will be successful here together. So I will refund you, no questions asked, and as like a good gesture to say thank you and apologies, I'll send you a coffee. But I'm really confident we won't get there. Now, I'm going to end by saying this because I just realized is, I apologize about the lighting and the audio, but I wanted to make this video for you quick and from the hip so you can see that I'm a real person and I'm here to help you out. And I'm very, very, very excited to help you get to where you need to go. And I look forward to partnering with you. Talk soon.